Let's get involved here. We have a large topic to cover. We're speaking really about the role of being involved in Yeshuva Olam, of settling the world, populating the world. And we've been going into this in the morning, B'siyata D'Shmaya. And let's see here, just back inside the Torah a little bit, just so everybody knows that there's good things coming down the pipeline, is that the world should know that the new Lakutei Maran, Ki Merachem Yanagem, is going to be coming fresh off the press very, very soon. A big thank you to Ramoti and Latal the Torah and all of our Chevra involved in this. And that let's really get into this big topic of what does it mean to populate the world, to be natalist, populist. We have to discuss the difference between the two. So here, let's just see the Torah, and then let's try to get involved in it, and then we can open up for questions from the Chevra. So we're speaking about really having compassion. So I'm just going to read the Torah and let's try to get involved. V'rachaman kazehu rak Moshe Rabbeinu. Someone with this compassion, this level of compassion is only Moshe Rabbeinu. Ki hu hayamanig Yisrael. He is the true leader of the Jewish people. Hu yamanig la'asad. And he will be the leader. Ki masha haya hu shi. Like Koheles says, what was will be. What was will be. Ein chadash tachas hashemesh. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. What was will be. There's nothing new under the sun. Which is interesting that is an element of compassion, of knowing what was will be. Mashahaya hu sheyeh. Rosh Tevis, first letters Moshe, Sofer Tevis Ekye. Ki Moshe Rabbeinu hayalei rachmanos be'emes. Moshe Rabbeinu had true compassion, and emes we're defining as das. Because we said earlier, if a person wants to have compassion for somebody, so how would he do so? So if he sees a baby, he feels that he wants to give them food. Let's just think about that for a second. He feels that he wants to give them food. Well, how are you now going to go about doing that? Are you going to go about doing that by giving them milk? That would be using your brain to understand that this feeling that you have to want to help the baby has to be activated, has to be played out, bless you, in a way that makes sense. That would be the das. That would be the das of making sure that they get milk and not something else. So Moshe Rabbeinu, who has das, Mosar nafshay b'shvil Yisrael. If somebody really has compassion, they'll give their whole life, even themselves. V'hishlich nafshay mineged v'loy haya choishesh al atzmei klal, and he did not care about himself at all. He just cares about the mission, the vision. Ki Hashem yisborach amaloi escha l'goy gadol. I will make you into a great nation. And he's not paying attention to that. Rak amash im tisa chatosan. If you will lift up and remove their sins, then good. And if not, mecheni na misifracha. Erase me from your book. Ki hu hayarachman u'maneg amiti. Because this is true compassion. He's involved with populating the world. That the world will be filled with humans. So what do we see here is that Moshe Rabbeinu, his compassion will express itself in human beings, being in the world. Let's just think about that a little bit. I would say on a simple level, that's the greatest compassion. Is that you want... What was God's plan? I think Drake had an idea what it was. But what's God's plan, Chaim? What is God's plan?
To give.
give, to To give. To give. That's definitely what the Kabbalah books say. Is Kisha'ala b'ritzoyna haposhet lahetiv, when it went up on God's rotzen to give, to do good. Who would be the recipients of that good?
Everyone who's evil, humans.
So if we were to start just from the basic, I would say all creation. Does a lion enjoy the fact that he's alive? Does he appreciate that?
No, lions don't know that they're alive. They're not conscious of being conscious.
I think at some level they must have some kind of, because they don't want to die. They will fight to not die, and they're definitely expressing pain when they're being killed. And they'll try to get out of that. So there's some awareness. There's definitely some instinctual awareness of that being alive is good, keeping myself alive is good, helping my fellow lioness is good, feeding my children, cubs are good. There's some awareness that it's good to be alive. So they are recipients of God's giving, and being alive is good, but how much can they appreciate that? Are they aware of what we get to in the end, which is knowing that God is Shalit Arts, that God is the one who runs the show? How aware of that are they?
I wouldn't say like an animal is more of like a program, like a programming.
Like an NPC?
In a way, like they were put into this world with the nature. This is how you do it. A dog cannot overcome his nature. A dog cannot say, you know what?
That's
I'm
right.
hungry, but I'm not going to bark right now. Only if he's scared, only if he's been trained well, whatever. But he's not going to think to himself, I shouldn't, that's okay. I'm okay to skip my meal right now.
That's very important, is that yes, animals are programmed. This was a famous thing.
Almost talks about.
That's right.
The ants is the only, it's in Mishle where it says the ant, and we know now in science the ant is literally, besides the squirrel, it's the only animals that store food for future. They're the only ones that have a concept of a time outside of present.
Well, squirrels.
No, also
Squirrels hide nuts.
bears. No, they.
But they're not ants. So
I used ants just because they're the tiniest one. It's the one written in the Torah that Shlomo talks about. They look at the ant gathering food when he knows he won't eat it.
Animals are programmed. Animals are programmed to operate in a certain way. And Rabbi Avram ben Rambam, who spoke about this, he said a fascinating thing. People wanted to prove, they said, you know what? You think that animals are programmed? We will show you that we could refine a feline cat. You know, we'll have the cats come, and you'll come to our party, and we'll show you that the cats are going to walk out with platters, and they're going to come and serve. Come to our kingdom, we'll show you that we know and can prove otherwise, that you could change the nature of an animal. And so what happened? So Rabbi Avram ben Rambam came and he took a mice and he threw the mice, and the cats all threw the trays and ran after the mice. So you could put little tuxedos on your mice, I guess you could try to do it with mice also. You could put tuxedos on your cats, and you can give them silver platters, and you could think that they're going to overcome their nature. But once the mice are let out of the cage, they're going to go back to being regular old cats. So cats, animals are programmed. They're programmed.
There was a study where they did multiple years ago. They had a whole thing of monkeys, all like baby monkeys, and then they had baby humans, and they put them together. And they said, if we raise a human in a monkey environment,
Monkey to speak.
will they, whatever, I think they did both groups, like monkeys with humans and humans with monkeys. What would happen? At a certain point, the one differentiating thing between them, like the main point of separation, is that the monkey would not ask questions beyond certain things. Like he wouldn't ask why they're doing things. A kid is always asking, but why? Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Why do we do this? A monkey would just do. Monkey see, monkey do. A monkey would just copy, and this is what we do. The human would always go beyond.
I know we might get tomatoes for this one, but humans and animals are not the same. Humans and animals are not the same. In the Kabbalah books, they explain that animals are really mushrash in a certain sphere. Like they have that as their overarching. One of the examples they give is a lion. A lion is gevura.
They each have their own
Yes.
in one sphere.
That they're mushrash in a sphere that's like their domain. This is their tchum, this is their zone, and they operate from this. And they don't deviate from this. And even if you think you could put tuxedos on them, this is not going to change the core. The animal is programmed. The animal is programmed. A human being is different. A human being has an animal encasing and has animal instincts, but is not bound by that. What makes the human, we're going to talk about this more when we get into the 930 share of the Bereshis project. What makes the human is that they can have das. They could have consciousness, das. They could elevate themselves to a higher realm, to a higher place of consciousness. They could literally develop das. So here, what was Moshe Rabbeinu doing? What is Moshe Rabbeinu interested in? Moshe Rabbeinu is interested in seeing a world filled with humans, of populating the world with humans, a world of humans. Ki ikara adam hu adas. You know what the main identifying feature of a human being is? And this may sound controversial. The main identifying feature of a person is not that he has 10 fingers and 10 toes. Not even that he has a fancy haircut from some, fancy hair stylist. That's not the identifying feature of the human being. The identifying feature of the human being is that they are conscious, and that consciousness could take them to a higher plane of existence of knowing their creator. So,
Goody Two-Shoes said soul.
the soul. And Goody Two-Shoes is right. The soul. This is what it is. The soul. Umisha ein loidas ein min yishuv. So Moshe Rabbeinu, we have Moses. His entire life is to create a community. He wants to create a community of human beings. Okay, so if I were to ask you, okay, Yitz, you're now being in charge of creating a community of human beings. What is the most important thing? Like, city building. We want to help build communities. So what would be the first, what's your order of business? Security, okay, that's good.
Power.
They would say, okay, give me your business plan. What are you trying to create here? Okay, you have a mission. Your mission is create healthy community. So, how do you start? What do you do?
Where are they going to live?
They definitely have to live somewhere.
No, so it's that's like you're saying.
Build houses.
That's what I asked myself, that's the
Okay.
thing I would take care of.
And now, after they live somewhere, where do you go? What do you do? Okay, we all have houses.
What's the point of them coming together?
What's the point of this? What's the point? Meaning animals also have houses. Bears have dens, and beavers have, what do you call that? Dams. So human beings need a house. Is it just that there's a structure to protect you from the elements? The human being is on a totally different plane entirely. That they have consciousness. So Moshe Rabbeinu says that his whole life is involved in Yeshuva Shel Olam, just to build up this world, that the world should be filled with Bnei Adam. And then the Rebbe teaches us that what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a human? It means consciousness. And if somebody does not have consciousness, it's as if to say that he's not in the community. It's like he's out of it somehow. He's not acting like a human being. And we're going to see later that what makes a human being really a human being is that they don't do averas. That's going to be the big kicker here. That they don't do averas. A human means he's a person who is connected to das, And we said that das is the very thing that pushes you away from doing averas. Yes, Yossel.
Is it only that he doesn't do Averas, or is it that he also does mitzvah?
That he's doing mitzvahs. Das brings you both to mitzvahs and it prevents you from doing averas. Sur merava asetov. Sur merava asetov.
But if we go with this mandama, so there's only 5 tzaddikim in the whole Jewish history, so none of us are humans.
So we explained this morning that anytime that you see in Reb Nachman where he speaks about the tzaddik, he also means inside of you. Inside of you is a point called the tzaddik that you have to awaken. Inside of you is a point, is a nukud of tzaddik that has to be woken up. That in you must have this ability to give the part of you that's not dasing, das. It's not just to tell you should know there's big people in the world. That's also true. But to know that inside of me I could activate das. There's a Moshe inside of me. Like the Gemara says. Spashta the Moshe b'kol dor v'dor. The energy of Moshe Rabbeinu is in every generation. Mamish. So here the Rebbe says, let's just see these words and then let's unpack the whole thing. Well, Moshe Rabbeinu hayaloi rachmanas. Well, first, rakhu b'chinas chay b'demus adam. The Rebbe is now introducing that there's such a thing of somebody that's walking around. He looks human. He looks human. But because he's not acting with consciousness, he's really acting in an animal way. It's just he has 10 fingers, 10 toes, a fancy haircut,
Matrix.
Gucci'd out. But he's really an NPC.
Smith agent.
That's Smith.
Smith agent.
Smith agent was an
All the
NPC.
same suits, all the same.
And he was programmed, right?
Yeah.
They're all programmed.
Then he ended up breaking out of the program again.
Smith agent that broke out.
But he's still a bad guy.
No, he never broke out. He was
No,
part
not in
of
the first one, but like in
He was part of the Matrix to enforce the laws of the Matrix.
The rules.
It's like a complete.
So one of the main things of this Torah is to know that even if a person feels that he's an NPC, you can break out of that.
You can get in the game.
You could totally get in the game. That's a big part of this Torah, is even though you feel that I have not been acting with Das, I've just been really acting with animal instincts. And of course, animal instincts bring a person, God forbid, to Avera. And like we learned this morning, that Avera brings heaviness on a person. Like King David says, Kemasa kovid yichbadu mimeni. Like a heavy burden, it's too heavy, that Averas bring this massa. And it doesn't just mean a physical massa, it means spiritual, this heaviness. People that are involved in Averas, it's like heavy. There's something weighing on them and it sticks to them over the years. And it feels heavy, like it's hard to get out of this.
I have a question, Rabbi. If nobody's like an NPC, as we just call it, doesn't that make it like don't like some people have to be NPCs like
No.
just for the game to like function? If everyone, right? You know what I mean?
NPCs would be the animals, that's what we said. They don't have free will, that's exactly our thing. The NPCs are the animals. But if a person is not living up to his das, then he's really just walking around the world, getting pulled by instincts, getting pulled by whatever the latest thing is. We always have discussions with guys. Is university teaching you how to think or what to think? Is Netflix teaching you how to think or what to think? Hollywood, what to think, how to think, or what to think?
Neither.
Trust the science.
Trust the science.
That's what to think.
Are they teaching you how to think or what to think? Is the media teaching you how to think or what to think? Is the input that you're receiving how to think or what to think? Moshe Rabbeinu is teaching you how to think because he's giving you back das. He's giving you back your consciousness. Once you have das, you could do anything.
You're saying everyone's born like on it's like an even playing field when everyone's born. It's like everyone has like the capability to
Either act like an animal, go with his instincts, just not really think too much, go with the programming. Is a person pulled after the surround? Let's make it simpler. Nature or nurture?
Oh. Yeah, that's.
How powerful is nurture?
Very there.
Says the Rambam, Odom nimshach achar svivoisav. It's a halacha in a Rambam. The reality is you are pulled after your surroundings. You are highly influenced by your surroundings. Highly. Also, your nature, your DNA is giving you a perspective, a consciousness, a personality. What is Das? Das is above all of that. Das is coming from your soul. And the Iker Das here, says the Rebbe, is knowing that God is in the world. God is in the world. That's the Iker Das. God is in the world.
So when someone feels like an NPC, they're not using their das.
Correct.
Does that mean that their neshama just has schmutz, or?
It means that it seems also if there's no Das, then there's going to be Averas. It's just natural. Because the animal soul will just pull them to Averas, to sinful behavior. And we're going to see later in the Torah that when does a person come to sin? It says, Ein Adam Chayte, Ela Shenichnas by Rosh Shtus. A person will only do an Avera if something of a foreign shtus comes into him. Which is interesting. The word shtus is from shoite, like foolishness. That's not him. You're the neshama. So what's Moshe Rabbeinu doing? He's trying to make NPCs into human beings again. Moshe is trying to populate the world and flip NPCs into human beings. He's trying to literally pop people out of the matrix.
The Torah is the red pill.
Red pill. It's amazing. Moshe Rabbeinu is like red pilling everybody. The ultimate awakening. Literally just red pilling everybody. If people would ask us what is the Torah all about, we're really trying to give people red pills. This is not medical advice here. I'm not talking about, it's not pharmaceutical advice. Das is the red pill. Das is the red pill. And I'd like to ask our friends around the world, do you feel that you have been taking red pills or blue pills? And I don't mean Republican, Democrat. Do you feel that you are taking red pills or blue pills?
Someone just asked, isn't that what Shabbos is for? I'm an NPC 6 days of the week, and then I'm a human on Shabbos.
So beautiful question. Ideally, Shabbos, for sure you have to be human. But also, when Shabbos ends, don't stop it. Carry it. Hayom Yom Rishon b'Shabbos, Sheni b'Shabbos. You also want to be activated during the 6 days of the week. It's very hard to come into Shabbos as a human if you've been an NPC the entire week. So what does the Chevra say? Do you feel that you're taking red pills or blue pills? And we ask our friends, red or blue? What have you been taking? Red or blue? Is anybody here at least looking for red pills? As a yes or no? It's amazing, some people don't even know that's the whole matrix. They don't even know that there's a pill to take. And even if you get offered the red pill,
Are you going to take it?
remember that guy, what is he doing? He's like having steak and wine. And he's like, do you want this red, Morpheus, right? You want this red pill? And he's like, nah, as he's like steaking wine, like dripping all over him.
This one's right. Once you see, like, that's what he says. Like, once he's like,
I'm comfortable.
once you see how deep the rabbit hole goes, like, there's no unseeing.
So he said, I'd rather just, it's much more comfortable. What's the opposite of pleasure? Rabbi Noach would always ask people, what is the opposite of pleasure? We ask our friends, what is the opposite of pleasure? One word. Opposite of pleasure. Everybody give us one word. What is the opposite of pleasure?
Comfort.
Opposite of pleasure.
not-
So probably most people will say
it's not
pain.
It's not pain, right? I knew it.
The opposite of pleasure. What do you say? Derek is saying pain. Tree crew pain. Cynthia suffering. Jupiter opposite pleasure moderation. Ziao says the opposite of pleasure is Zionism. Clifton, Detroit. Discomfort. Obedience. Opposite of pleasure is obedience. I'm not sure. The opposite of pleasure is comfort. It's not pain. It's comfort. Pleasure is hard work. Pleasure is real. Investing in something. The feeling of achieving something can be actually painful. No pain, no gain. Like my Rabbi likes to say, all pain, all gain. When you're in the gym, is that painful? Yeah. If not, there's no gains. That's for sure. It's painful, but it's so pleasurable. It's amazing. You feel so good. The opposite of pleasure is comfort. That guy in the Matrix who was just with the meat and the wine dripping all over him, he said, I'd prefer just to have comfort. I'll go with comfort. So what is the mission of population of the world? What does the Torah want to see? What is Moshe Rabbeinu trying to do? He's trying to help flip NPCs into human beings. Trying to literally awaken people from just going mindlessly. And you know those memes where all those gray faces with like the two dots and like that nose? And like, those the NPC memes? That thing?
And then
they make funny things.
Different flash drives of the latest thing.
Exactly, whatever the latest thing is, and now they're wearing a hat like this, and then whatever. Those are, that guy. So he's trying to literally flip those guys. I think they usually say the opposite guy that is like some like muscle. They have like another one that's like not that guy. Usually like a big manly beard or something like that.
Chad.
Oh, it's Chad is the other guy.
Yeah.
So Moshe Rabbeinu is not trying to make Chads. You understand? That's not the opposite. Definitely that gray guy is the guy of the NPC. That's for sure. Push it. The memes that got that part right. Push it. But what they did not get right is what the opposite of that is. It's not Chad. It's an awakened, enlightened human being. Mamish, Das.
I think the reason that like people subconsciously like put the bearded guy out there as like the awakened enlightened being is like we see like most people once they take the red pill, which is Torah,
They grow beards.
they grow beards.
I could respect that.
And I don't know if there's causation, but there's definitely a correlation between Torah wisdom and beard length. So I've found.
Not the Baba Sal. He had a very short beard, and he knew everything.
See, I didn't say it was causation, but there's a correlation. In most cases.
Bezrat Hashem is that we are seeing many men return to beards in the world. We're seeing that. We're seeing that. And I'm not telling people to grow beards. You can, that's your decision. I'm not getting involved in that. But we do see there's this movement of people starting to get back to that. And that's something that should be thought about. Yeah, Menachem.
Could it be, now that I'm thinking of the Torah a little more, that when the Rebbe is saying you have to repopulate the earth, it's not only speaking about just physical new babies and new births, but to basically populate it with the people who are already here but not here.
Yes, that's it. And that's why Reb Moti said something so beautiful to me last night. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu say, if you're going to erase them, then erase me? That is about populating. So he said, it's so beautiful. He said, if there's not going to be people that are here that are B'nai Das, then why do I even need to be
I have
here?
no purpose.
Exactly. If the whole thing is that there should be NPCs that are popped into human beings, and there's no more people, so then I don't even need to be here. Moshe Rabbeinu says, the whole mission is to awaken. And Hashem, this is your mission. You want the world to be filled with B'nai Das. So if they're not here, erase me. But keep them here because you want there to be people with Das in this world. So we'd like to invite maybe a few questions from our dear friends and to think about red pills, blue pills. I'm not talking about pharmaceuticals. We're talking about matrix type pills. To think about Das, to think about what it means to go from an NPC And the world is pushing you into being an NPC, the emes, to think about that. The world is pushing that agenda hard. Hard. Don't think for yourself. We'll tell you what to think. The Torah is here to tell you how to think. That's why we celebrate differences of opinions. You think differently, we're so happy to hear that. Just defend it. Just defend it. Trust the science. Why? What's your research? Back up your claims. Let's hear what you have to say. So, Bezrat Hashem, some questions from our chevra. Maybe if Yosel, if you see something, we'd be happy to try to address.
I see one. Jupiter asks, how can I have das when I work a secular job 6 days a week?
So Jupiter, excellent question. How can you have das when you're working, let's say, that seems to be a non-holy job during the 6 days of the week? I would say the first thing is to always put into perspective, why are you working this job? You're working this job in order to have money. Why should you have money? To take care of a family, to buy food for Shabbos, to buy mitzvah items, to buy holy books. As long as the job is an honest job, then realize that every bit of energy that I'm investing is in order that I could have money and resources to build you, God, a kingdom in this world through my purchases. So if you could always keep that in mind when you're speaking to people on the phone, when you're processing whatever data you're processing, is it's all to bring God consciousness into the world, then you elevate your entire 9 to 5, every bit of it. So thank you, Jupiter, for the question. Much appreciated.
Hanoch, he got to be good just doing his job.
That's right. That's right. Sewing the shoes. The Yichud Ilah, Yichud Tata.
Someone wants to know why Jews have things on the side of their heads.
Oh, these dreadlocks?
Yes.
So, the Torah says, Lo sakifu peyas roishcha. The Torah makes it very clear that God has a vision for who your barber should be. And what that means is that there's a prescribed area of the head that the Torah says that you should not cut. There's a prescribed area of the beard that the Torah says you should not cut. So the number one point is to remember that there are specific parts of one's body that are not able to be cut in a prescribed way. The Rambam says the reason for that is because that was one of the haircuts of idol worshippers. That idol worshippers did like the zero fades on the side. They put like a bowl on the head, just totally shave the whole side. And therefore, not only do we not shave the side, we grow out as a symbol. That if God is telling you, don't shave the side, because that's what idol worshippers do, so we go to the opposite. Not only not an idol worshipper, I'm for God. So this is a symbol of pro-God. Nobody has to do that. The basic law is you just can't take a razor to the sides. But in Hasidic thought, we understand that it means is that whenever you have something of idol worship, so we see not only just stay away from idol worship, but go to the other extreme, which is God unity. And therefore, this is a point of God unity. Thank you so much for the question.
What are your thoughts on the third temple?
The third temple is something that is mentioned in Ezekiel. The third temple is a very fundamental concept and idea. And the prophet Isaiah describes the third temple as ki beisi beis tefila yakar l'kol ha'amim. It will be a place of unification for all humanity. It'll be a place where all the nations of the world can come and pray together to the one God. We see the third temple as a place of unity consciousness for all humanity. Thank you so much for the question. Yes, I guess 1 or 2 more questions before the Mashiach Shir.
Darius Thorne wants to know about the red heifer.
Thank you, Darius Thorne. So the red heifer is, we've had 9 of them in the history of the world. The red heifer, and there are sightings of potential red heifers. The red heifer is very much a symbolic sign that the days of Messiah are coming. The red heifer is specifically used in the context of purifying a person from death. It takes a person out of death consciousness. We could talk another time all the details of the red heifer, but essentially, to simplify it, is that the Torah speaks about a concept of being pure or being impure, being contaminated or being tahor. And the Torah describes when a person is contaminated spiritually by either touching a dead body, by coming into contact with death, so they become desensitized spiritually. The only way to get out of the highest level of impurity, which is death of a human body, is the red heifer. So all of us in the entire world are living almost spiritually muted without the red heifer. Not fully, but we're living on a decreased level of sensitivity. Once we have the red heifer, there's going to be a tremendous level of spiritual awakening that's going to come through the service of the red heifer. Thank you so much for the question. Okay, last question, Chevra.
This is a good transition to the next year. A lot of people are asking about Mashiach. That's why we reject the Messiah.
So we love the Messiah. In fact, we are anticipating the coming of the Messiah every single day, every single second. The Jewish belief is that Messiah can come at any second, and we're yearning for the Messiah. Literally every second yearning for the Messiah. That's core fundamental belief for us. The Messiah is very clearly described as someone who will usher in peace in the world. So I ask our friends who may claim that the Messiah has arrived, why do we not see peace? The Messiah's arrival will be characterized by peace, that all the weapons will turn into plowshares. So my question is, why are the weapons still not plowshares? The Messiah's arrival will be characterized by peace. And therefore, it is a clear sign that Mashiach is not yet here. In every generation, there's a potential sleeper cell of Mashiach that could be Mashiach. We hope so much that today will be the day that he's revealed, and we'll see mamish peace in the world. We're going to be continuing literally for all of our friends in 1 minute with completely, I would say, exploration of all the messianic concepts. It's wonderful to learn together, my friends. Have a wonderful day, and we'll continue in a minute. Kol Tuv.